Conference. This is our opportunity to study our yoga and to study the 8 limbs of Ashtanga this semester. And we've entered the latter limbs of the Ashtanga, which is our internal practice. And we've began with Pratyahara, withdrawing from our 5 dogs, senses pulling us, into Dhyana, which is to hold the mind and to focus the mind in one direction. And then this week we're moving into Dhyana, D-Y-H-A-N-A, Dhyana, which means to meditate. It's a state of meditation. And in that we have to cultivate the first 2 in order to get to the state of being fully present and being able to stand still, not physically, but to stand still in our mind and to stand still in our soul and our being. And when we're able to stand still, we're able to svadhyaya, to practice creating a space of quiet and of listening. And when we create that space of quieting and listening, then we're able to direct our attention coming back to living intentionally and consciously in how we want to live the precious moments of our life. So I read from Iyengar. I began with some beautiful quotes by BKS Iyengar, and I just wanted to share in this short video the first part, which when Iyengar describes dhyana as water that takes the shape of the container, and the mind, when it contemplates an object, is transformed into the shape of the object. And on Sunday, I held this glass of water and I had my Brita and we were pouring the water into this glass. And so as Iyengar describes the pouring of the water like the pouring of oil, that is our intention and our sitting and our setting that space that we create the shape of the mind and how we want to direct the mind. So when I sit and I direct the mind towards letting go and peace, I feel peaceful. And when I quiet my mind and I focus on gratitude, then I feel blessed and appreciative and grateful. And so as we go back into our other studies of like how the life is pulling us towards worry, be angry, be stressed, the yogi comes to this place of standing still and trains ourselves to quiet the mind and then intentionally set the mind on this path of how we create the container of our mind of water. I also shared one of my favorite quotes by Shawn Achor, who is the Harvard professor who's written numerous books on happiness and how to cultivate happiness. And of course, he says the same thing that Iyengar does. It's universal. He says it's not reality that shapes us, but the lens through which we view the world that shapes our reality. And I purposely wore my glasses to say this is the lens we cultivate with Dhyana, Pratyahara, Dharana, where I stand still and I quiet myself. And then I create this space of peace, of intention, of love, this intention of being compassionate, this intention of being a joyful person. And this becomes my lens. And so whatever is happening then in my external world, whatever I hear in the news, whatever is happening at work, whatever's going on with my family, my partnership, my health, I deal with that from the inside out. And this practice serves us in setting that intention and showing up and actually changing the world we live in by just changing the way we see the world. And I've loved it. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And Shawn Achor does such a great job at describing it in his book, Happiness Advantage, and all the research to say, yogis, people, if we can train ourselves and be better and better and better at listening to ourselves, quieting ourselves, setting our intention, we literally change the reality we live in because we have set that intention around it. So join me for conferences. I share different stories and a little bit, I kind of flesh out this idea more of how we can really apply this practice of yoga to become happier and more joyful people.